This video shows how to install a FlashRight display on a pole mount OCU. Okay, the first thing you want to do is set up your kit A for the type of installation you have. So in this case, we're going to be doing a side mount installation on the tower OCU. So you'll pull out your power supply. And what I do normally is just use this box for garbage too. Keeps it from blowing all over the place. Take the unit out. The best part about this is you can just go ahead and use this box for all your components. Take your hardware kit, put it right inside the box. Once again, use this for your garbage. Put that aside. For side installation, make sure your photocell's on the right-hand side, and take your surround bracket, bring it up through the back, set it right down. Take your offset bracket and make sure that this flange does not go past this area. This bracket does not go past this area. Set it down, grab one of your machine screws, put it in the top, put it in the bottom, put it in the center, and you want to finger start all these before you drill it in place. It might be easier to take your stubby screwdriver and start these on the other side if you can't get your fingers in. Set it in. Once again, so you can see it from this angle. And then take your cordless, put it on a ratchet setting. If you have the ratchet setting, you can start with top, center, end one, flip it over, same thing again. As long as you start these things finger tight, or I mean just with your finger first, then you're all set. Then just put it all back in the box and you're ready to go do your installation at the OCU. Okay, now we're opening the Kit B accessory. This will have everything else that you need for the installation. It'll be a general installation overview sheet, your installation manuals. You'll have the insert panels. One's going to be for 75 cents, one's going to be for $1, whichever one you decide to use. Make sure you rip off the covering on both sides for which one you're going to use. You're going to have 2 of the cone surround panels. They're bagged. You can just open them up and stick on the one you want. You're going to have your surround panel and insert panel storage case. There's instructions in here how to pop the panels in and out. Also, you'll have the Velcro that's going to go around the display when you install it, the insert panel removal key, some hardware that you may or may not need, a couple tie wraps, and a plug connector that you may or may not need. After all the installation's done, make sure you put the extra surround panel and whichever insert panel you don't use and the key, and put it inside this, and then close it up and make sure you give this to the manager when you're done with the installation. Now that you're out at the speaker post, you have your display, Kit A, all set up already. Kit B, which has all your other accessories and installation manual, and your toolkit with the recommended tools in it, along with your cordless screwdriver. We're ready to start the installation. The next thing to determine on this installation is which side the actual power supply is, where you'll be plugging in to the outlet. There's a little raceway that goes from this pole to one of these boxes. In this case, it's on this side. Sometimes they're on this side, but you'll be able to tell. You'll see a little black pipe or foam piece going between these two. That's where you'll plug in the power supply. The next thing is to set up the display. Put it on the right-hand side of the speaker. Make sure it's level here and flush, and a minimum of 2 inches right here. Okay, the next thing is, once again, to go ahead, put the unit on the side here. You've got at least 2 inches on the bottom. And then use the self-tap screws and screw it in place. That's the one there. Make sure it's square here. Then do the bottom. Then put the last screw in the back here. Make sure you got 4 screws and you're using the self-tap number 8 screws. Make sure you also have one of these extension bits. This job is going to be very hard if you don't have an extension bit, at least 6 inches long. Go ahead at this stage, take the rest of your wire out. Here we'll straighten it out. And then you're going to run it down through the back here, because earlier you determined that the power supply is going to be mounted on this side because of the little raceway between the pole and here where the plug's going to be. If it's on the other side here, all you need to do is run the wire still down through here and over the speaker post in the bottom and over the speaker in the bottom, and then back up and you'll get it into this side if the power supply is on the right-hand side. And now that we know that the wire is down here, we're going to go ahead and secure it up here before we bring it actually into the box. The next thing is to put a wire block right towards the bottom of the bracket. Then stick it in place. Make sure you secure it with a number 8 self-tap screw. Then take a wire tie, run it right through the wire block. And then wrap it around. Bring your wire up, tighten it in place, cut it off. Now we're going to go down and mount the power supply next. Next thing to do is you're going to remove the plate here. You're going to make sure that it's best to buy a kit that has the whole set of the torque bits. And these are the secured torque bits with the hole in the center, because this actually has a hole in the center. So what we're going to do right now is remove the back panel. Screws up there. Okay, now that you've got the unit mounted, the wire block here and secured, and the tie wrap secured, twist your wires together because it's easier. And then just run the wire down behind the little area. There's a little area where you can run it down between the existing wires that are already inside of here. This will keep the wire running down straight. And some of these also have 2 outlets or 2 holes that you can bring your wires through, and this one is one of the easier ones where you have the 2 holes. So it's really simple just to bring the wire into that hole, push it in with your finger and grab it, and then pull it right up and pull it taut. And now it's inside here. If you do not have that second hole, you still bring the wire down and around the existing area where the wires come through, and you'll have to remove some of this insulation here and run the wire through the one hole. And then you can, a little trick is to use some needle nose pliers and reach in and grab it and push it through. But in this case, it's obviously, we got lucky and it's an easy one, and we just pushed it through the second opening made to bring the wire through. Now we can wire up the power supply. The wire's through. You don't need all this excess wire. So just bring it up here so you do have some extra in case you have a problem. cut it off, and then come back about 3 inches or 4 inches. Make sure that when you strip off this jacket, you either use a stripper that's made to strip this, or if you can be very careful with a pair of cutters and go ahead and strip the jacket back. Take it off. Strip your conductors back at least a good 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. Take your power supply, move the wire there. These are already stripped. If they're not stripped long enough, get 3/4 to a 1/2 inch stripped here. Put your red to red together. And then put your black to black together. Make sure you got a good connection, tug on them. Then start tying your wires up with the supplied tie wraps. Fold in the power supply, wiring, and the power supply itself here. If you have a connector cover, take that off, plug it in there, and if you got any excess wire, you can just simply fold it in. Now that you got everything plugged in, just simply walk around the front and make sure your display is actually working, which it is. And now we'll go ahead and close the cover back up. Now it's time to put the cover back on. It's very important that the vent is up. Make sure you put it on the same way you took it off. Some people have put them on upside down, and that's not the right way to do it. Make sure your vent is up. Put it over the top as you took it off and re-secure. Make sure when you re-secure these tiny little screws, you can use the screw gun, but be very careful. These things will break or strip out. Out of your Kit B package, which is going to be the brown box, you're going to have 3 Velcro pieces in a plastic bag. Take the pieces off, put them on center with the display and on the top of the bracket. And you're going to want them on the top, the side, and on the bottom. Once again, out of Kit B, you go ahead and take either cookies or the cone or whatever surround panel is and attach it where the Velcro pieces were and just press them in place. Once again, out of Kit B, you'll have an insert panel. All you need, and you'll have a key. All you need to do is slip it in place and snap it in. And then to take these panels out, you just push down and it pops right out. You also can go like this if you feel like it, and just make it go behind the bumps and snap it in that way. But you always have to pop it out from the bottom out like this and snap it in. From the bottom out, slide it up, and snap it in. That completes the installation of a FlashRight display on a Pole OCU.